Well, we've practiced it quite a bit. We've taken a lot of reps, through the last season, spring, summer, camp. I mean, it's, when you do something as much as we have done it, I would hope that, there are no mistakes. And so, but again, it's, there's some, some human decision making involved, so we're not perfect all the time on where the ball should go, but, we do the best we can and just keep playing. It's, he runs extremely hard, plays, it's just awesome to play with him, and we just got to keep at it.
Collin, how difficult is it for you to exert the kind of patience you do as a rusher and kind of wait for that hole to open? And when you were first playing quarterback here, were you more inclined to kind of bolt for the hole or not wait for a play to develop like that?
Right. I think it has probably. I've probably become more patient as I've gotten older and run it more. I know it's a balance, because sometimes you have to wait and kind of feel your way through it. Other times you got to go, and if you wait, it's going to go from bad to worse. So it's just a feel thing. I know just probably I've improved just from understanding the blocking schemes better and knowing exactly who's accounted for, exactly how each one of them is going to be blocked, and all those little things that, maybe give you a half a step. Maybe that I'm not as quick as another guy, but I know exactly how it's going to fold out, so it can make you play a little faster. But it's a fun part of the game.
One thing that struck me after Saturday's game was Harper told me, he said, well, we get it done, it just looks different. And in this age of flashy offenses and all that stuff that everyone talks about, how much pride do you guys have in doing things a different way than a lot of other teams do?
Oh man, it's kind of just grown, and we just try to do the best that we can do at what we do, whatever that is. I know coaches kind of, we've kind of grown into what we are. And, even that at times, even through this season, has looked different, at certain times and certain down and distances and situations. So, it's whatever we got to do to win, and just going from there. So, but I think Coach always talks about trying to take pride in your performance, of making sure that you're prepared, making sure that you did the very best that you could possibly do. And so I think there's definitely maybe that sense, I guess, if that's what you're talking about.
If I can follow up, you guys have won 10 of the last 11 times when it's been within a touchdown. And which game was a loss. But that said, how much have you witnessed this group grow as far as being a tough-minded team throughout all these narrow victories?
Right. I think you're definitely right. It's a process. It's something that we are growing in and still want to grow in. You can never, you could ever say, okay, I'm finally mentally tough enough to, play this game, kind of a thing. You want to, be constantly growing in that capacity. And but again, it's been amazing to be a part of, and just very grateful to be a part of this team from the standpoint that we have stayed together when things are rough, when, things maybe aren't going the way you'd like them to go, or at that time the scoreboard doesn't say what you want it to say. But you just gotta, like Coach says, just keep playing until that final tick is off the clock. So.
Collin, you've carried the football a bunch now the last couple games. How are you doing health-wise? I know you got beat up pretty good towards the end of the season last year with the aches and pains and the bruises. You feeling like 100% right now, ready to go after Iowa State game?
Of course. I'm sorry. No, I do feel good. I'm always ready for another round. So, but around here, even if I was, I probably wouldn't tell you anyway. So, sorry about that.
You're going up against West Virginia. As everybody knows in the nation, they can put points on the board, but not only can they, their opponents have been able to as well. When you look at their defense, what do you see that everybody's been able to score so easily on, it seems like?
Well, I'll tell you, there's there's a lot of great offenses out there that they've played, that we have and will play, and I mean, everybody is capable of putting up a lot of points on you, and who knows exactly what the reasons are. It's just a matter of making sure that we put effort and focus into building a plan and then executing that plan on Saturday, and whatever the tweaks are, and just staying together as a team and fighting till the last snap. And I think those are the kind of things that are more important. And again, anybody with any unit can beat you if you're not careful and if you're not ready to go. So it's pretty lucrative, I guess.
Collin, a lot of the pregame hype is almost certainly focused on you and Geno Smith. How much do you just enjoy being on? I know you guys obviously don't play against each other necessarily, but
right.
Do you enjoy being on a big stage against somebody who's considered one of the best quarterbacks, just to show what you can do as well?
Well, again, it's I think, and I don't know, but I would say, my main focus is just making sure our team is successful, and whatever my piece of that puzzle looks like, I'll be happy with. And of course, we are all as a team trying to prepare to play the best game that we have played. I mean, you try to do that every week. So it's just another step in the journey. And we just got to make sure and do the very best we possibly can to make sure it's a good and solid step.
How impressed are you just with what you've seen from Geno Smith? Hasn't thrown an interception yet to this point.
Right. I mean, there's like I said, I mean, there's some good offenses. I mean, he does a great job. He's got a few guys around him that do an amazing job after they get after he gives them the ball, and so. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of people that can put up a lot of numbers around you. You got to be ready to go. So no, I appreciate what he does. It's fun to watch someone who's good at what he does. So.
Collin, it seems like this year we've seen you sliding, getting out of bounds, things like that a lot more maybe than last year. Was that a point of emphasis coming into this year, and do you feel like that's helped you out a little bit, stay fresher?
I think so. I think again, it's a little bit of a balance. I know. I think maybe with age, I'm a little smarter. I would hope that, looking back and try to make sure that, when I'm watching film, there's never an opportunity that you miss when you need a few extra yards or something like that. But, at the same time, it's, I guess it's funny. Something that comes to my head is, a quote by General Patton, you don't win wars dying for your country. So, you gotta be kind of smart about that. But anyways.
Collin, you haven't had many close games with the two on the road where it's come down to the wire and you've been able to pull it out. Is that something do you see a carryover from last year maybe in that respect, just maybe the confidence of this team to do that? And is that something that can carry over and sort of become part of the culture of the program, do you think? Right.
Well, I think it's definitely a component that we want to that needs to still be there as far as being tough, being able to finish games, being able to stay together, being able to perform mentally and physically at the highest possible level when the highest amount of pressure and in the biggest situation, whatever that is, offense, defense, special teams. And again, I think it's something that we have grown to. I know, I mean, it's in coach's DNA, and that transfers right to us of just trying to be as consistent as we possibly can, being as tough as we possibly can every snap all the way through the game, and like he always tells us, just keep playing, and eventually, something will happen. So I think it may be a combination of all those things.
Collin, the past few press conferences, we've talked about how few penalties you guys have experienced. But we got that, out of the way now. Has that been a big focus this week? Is how we correct that?
Right. I mean, it's hard. I mean, of course, it was way too many. It was, out of character. But it's just a level of focus and a level of discipline that we have to, make sure we get it done. And then we slipped up in some areas last week. But we know we're not perfect. It's just a matter of just trying to get as close to that mark as we can. Another thing Coach always says is, in chasing perfection, we'll achieve excellence. So it's just a matter of keeping that up and keep moving forward with it. So,
Collin, talk about your running mate John Hubert. What he's able to provide you as a complement to kind of your running game, and what he's kind of helped you do and succeed this year on the ground as well.
He's definitely done a great. He's just a great tool and a great threat, for our offense, and busted a couple big ones, which is always good when you can get those chunks. And he does a great job. I know a lot of things sometimes you don't see as much as his blocking. He's a great in pass protection, and also with the quarterback run game, some of the blocking that he's responsible for. So it's an honor to play with him.
Collin, for the first time in a while, you guys, it's not your offense that's being talked about heading into the week. Is there added pressure? Is there a sense of relief because of that?
The first goal on our goal board is score one more point than they do. And whenever we got to do it, it's just going to come down to that. And just, again, trying to be the best we can be and have the best performance that we have had all year, and strive for that, prepare for it, and see what happens.
And I imagine you've probably already been asked this, so I apologize. But
no problem.
What do you see in their defense? And maybe people like to talk about their offense so much. Do you think maybe their defense is a little bit undervalued just because they're playing in the shadow of Geno Smith and everything?
Oh yeah, there's every team, every unit is good enough to beat you, whether that's holding you to not very many points in yards, or if it's allowing you, or whatever the situation is, and they're no different. They got some very good athletes, and they've given up some big numbers, but I don't know if I think every defense in the country over the course of a year is gonna, with the offenses, the offenses you have around these days, there's gonna be a day where there's gonna be some numbers put up. So again, it's just making sure we score one more than they do, and going from there.
Collin, Coach mentioned that he thought that West Virginia, if left alone, could score about a touchdown a minute. How much emphasis is being put on time of possession this week?
Well, again, it's we want to be able to control the ball, but if you're controlling the ball and not scoring touchdowns, it's not going to do you any good either. So it's just whatever we got to do to win, and trying to just keep moving forward.
Collin, teammates and Coach Snyder talks about your maturity and your leadership skills. How much did growing up the way you did, being homeschooled, being around adults so much, even going to community college when you were high school age, help you become mature and kind of lead others?
Whew. Well, I think first of all, I think there's always strides to be made, and I appreciate Coach and Coach Miller and the people around me who are even now trying to help me grow in those areas. I know the Lord blessed me majorly with the opportunity to homeschool and some special opportunities to obviously work with my parents, on a daily first-hand basis, and some music teachers and coaches, athletic coaches growing up. Just a lot of people that have invested over the course of my life that have really made a difference. And I just can't be more grateful. So,
Collin, I got to ask you from an offensive perspective about your defense, like I do every week. But in the Big 12 season, 211 offensive snaps, and your defense has allowed one play at 30-plus yards, and that wasn't even against Oklahoma. That was to KU. How impressed have you been, because you go against these defenses, how impressed have you been with their ability to prevent offenses from going, over the top in
right.
games?
Again, they've worked extremely hard, and I know obviously we get to see them, every day, and have seen them for a long time.
Yeah.
And so we definitely have a high appreciation. They do an amazing job, and are really doing some good things. And but I know I know that they are a lot like us from the standpoint of, they're still striving and scratching and clawing to still do better. So it's we're all in it together and trying to be the best we can be. Basically sums it up.
Collin, can you talk a little bit about your prowess on the basketball court in particular? In a real game with a two-handed jam, apparently.
Oh my goodness! So, you guys are doing your homework. Basketball was my main sport until I kind of got to high school. I didn't play football until 9th grade. Played some club basketball stuff growing up, and loved the game. Still do. But we had in the wintertime we had some fun with intramurals, so it was a good time.
Do you have a two-handed jam though that maybe is more memorable than another? In a real game?
I've been fortunate to do it a few times, so it's fun to be able to. When you get the chance, you got to maximize it. So.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Collin. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.